Hi guys, I hope you're all doing really well. Today I'm here to do my March wrap up and my April TBR. So the month of March was a really busy month for me, and I was quite happy with the amount of books I managed to read. I read 14 novels and then one kind of set of short stories, which I'm not counting as a full novel. I guess it's kind of like a novella. So I'm kind of proud of that, but I'm a little bit disappointed because I wanted to have read, in my Goodreads challenge, my goal this year is to read 250 books, and I'm currently at 49, and by the end of March I wanted to be at 50, which I'm one book behind my own personal goal, which is a bit annoying, but I'm hoping that I'll be able to make that up really quickly. So I'm not going to go through all the books I've read this month, mainly because you've probably seen quite a lot of them in my weekly wrap-ups, and also there's lots of reviews on the blog, so you can go and check those out. But I'm just going to talk you through my favourite book of the month, or one of my favourite books of the month anyway, and it is Half Bad by Sally Green. I absolutely adored this book. This was probably my favourite book of the month. There were a lot of other books I read that I enjoyed. I loved The Monument 14, the first two books in the trilogy, and the third one's due to come out soon, so I really loved that one as well. But this is probably my favourite one of the month. It's probably the one that I read the quickest, but also the one that I enjoyed the most, so I'm really excited that I managed to get the chance to read this one. And at the moment I've got a giveaway on my blog to win. There's 2 copies to be won, so if you want to win a copy, I'll leave a link in the description below and go and enter, because it ends tomorrow, or yeah, it ends tomorrow, so quickly hurry up and go and get yourself into the draw to be in with a chance of winning it. So yes, that was Half Bad. I loved that this month. Then also this month I spent quite a lot of time reading a lot of books for blog tours. I did quite a few this month, so I didn't really get a chance to read as many books that I wanted to read. I was more reading books that I had to read for blog tours, but I did enjoy the books that I read for blog tours. It just meant that I didn't get the chance to read the kind of books that I wanted to read. But I'm hoping that in April, because I've only got 1 or 2 blog tours for this month, that I will be able to read more of my own books and the books I really want to get around to reading. So I'm going to talk you through the books I'm reading at the moment, then the books that I want to get read in April. So I'm currently reading 2 books. The first one is a book that I've spoken about probably in about 3 or 4 videos now, and it is a programme by Suzanne Young. I'm still reading this. I'm now on page 258, I think, so I'm kind of like about 2/3 of the way through, maybe a little bit more, and I'm absolutely, like, I love this book. It is such an amazing premise, and it's one of these books that's making me feel so emotional in so many different ways. I'm really angry, and I'm scared, and I'm excited, and I'm really eager to kind of read this book. And it's not that I'm not enjoying this book, that I haven't read it very quickly. It's just the fact that I genuinely haven't had much time to read this book because I've had to read other books. So I'm really hoping that I can get around to finishing this one today or perhaps tomorrow, because I'm really loving it so far, and I think it's just a fantastic book. And the sequel to this is coming out quite soon as well, so I'm really looking forward to reading that one. I'm not too sure whether this is going to be like a series, or maybe a trilogy, or whether it's just going to be like 2 books, but I'm really hoping that you know, there's quite a few more to come, because I'm absolutely loving the story and I love the characters as well. So that's the programme by Suzanne Young. And at the moment I've just started reading Skeletons by Jane Fallon, which I'm part of a blog tour for tomorrow, which is standard me leaving books to read to the last minute, but I'm really looking forward to reading this one because I love Jane Fallon, and I'm more than confident I'll be able to read this in one day because her writing is just superb and I absolutely adore her books. And at the moment I'm on chapter 3, which is page 11, so I've got quite a long way to go, but I'm really looking forward to reading it, and I absolutely adore this cover as well. I love the orange and yellow, orange and pink on it. I think that's a really lovely kind of mix of colours, so I'm looking forward to finishing this one, and a review will be up for this one tomorrow. So this month I really want to get round to reading some of my own books, but there's a couple of books that I kind of have to read, and the first one I really want to finish reading is called The Winter Garden by Jane Tyne. Now last year I read Black Roses by Jane Tyne, and I absolutely adored it, and this is kind of like, it's not a sequel as such, and it's not like I guess it's almost like a series. It's the second book that follows the same main character, and it's called The Winter Garden, and it's set in Nazi Germany, and it's about it's about a girl who is called Clara Vine, and she is an actress at the Berlin studios, and she kind of in the last book she was a bit like of a spy, and it's all kind of really exciting wartime fiction, and I really loved what I've read so far. I'm not very far through, but I'm really loving what I've read, so I'm really hoping that I get the chance to finish this soon, because I want to review it next week. So look out for a review of this one if you're interested in reading kind of historical fiction that's based around the war, or the Second World War in Germany. I think it's the Second World War. Yeah, it's Hitler. Of course it's the Second World War. So yeah, really loving this book, even though I haven't read much of it so far. Then also this month I want to read this book, which I actually already started when I was sitting in the fish and chip shop the other night when I was waiting for them to cook the food. I had just been to the library and I just borrowed this. And it is called Intrusion by Ken MacLeod, I think that's how you say his name. I absolutely love this cover. I think it's such a striking cover. It's so simple but so brilliant. And this is about a pill, or there's been a scientific development with a pill which is called the Fix, and if you take the pill when you're pregnant, then it kind of gets rid of any kind of abnormality of the child, so the child is born kind of without any genetic defects. And this kind of follows the story of a woman, I think, who's pregnant, and her husband wants her to take the pill, but she doesn't want to take the pill, and I think it's kind of like a bit of a moral issue as well, about whether you do something to protect your child from genetic defects, or whether you let nature take its course. So I'm really looking forward to reading this. It's kind of like a dystopian sci-fi novel, so really excited about that one. Then also from the library this week, I picked up this book. Now I'm really quite shocked, because normally when you go to a library the books are kind of like wrapped in all the like plastic and really well looked after, but this one, because I asked the library to buy it for me, because in our local library you can like suggest a book for the library to buy and then they'll buy it, and they bought this one, which is Juvie by Steve Watkins, but they haven't put any kind of like plastic on it. It's literally like it's just come out of the bookshop and nobody's bothered to kind of put anything on it, so really excited about reading this one. I've heard quite a lot about it, and I've seen a lot of book tubers have it in their videos and in their bookshelves, or on their bookshelves, so I'm really looking forward to reading it, and I absolutely adore the spine as well. I think that's so cool, and I love the orange colour as well, so really looking forward to reading this one. I think it's about a girl who I think it's about a girl and her sister, and I think something goes wrong and one of them ends up in prison, or some mistaken identity or something like that. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm really looking forward to reading it, and I just really love this cover, so yay for Juvie. And then also this month I got this, and you probably saw it in my book haul that I did. It's The Knowledge, How to Rebuild Our World from Scratch by Lewis Dartnell. I cannot wait to get into this. This is about how to rebuild the world after an apocalypse, which is super cool because I'm really into apocalyptic kind of fiction and the whole idea of an apocalypse, so I'm really looking forward to reading this. And it's kind of like how to rebuild everything, like agriculture, medicine, science, transport, food and clothing, substances, communication, all those kinds of things. So I'm really excited about reading this one. Then also this month I want to get around to reading The Troop by Nick Cutter. Now this I got quite a while ago from Headline, which their new kind of like blogger database called Book Bridger, and I'm really excited about reading this one. This is kind of like a horror thriller, and I really love the cover and I loved the sound of it straight away, so I'm really excited about getting into this one, and I'm hoping to read it soon because it's not actually that long. I think it's only about 350 pages, so yeah, not too long at all, so really looking forward to getting into that one. The next book I want to read this month is The Geography of You and Me by Jennifer E. Smith. You probably saw as well in my last unboxing video, I unboxed this book and I was so excited because I wasn't expecting to get this at all. So when it arrived I did a massive scream, and I just love Jennifer E. Smith, so I'm really excited to be able to read this book. I think this comes out in April as well, so I'm hoping to read it before pub date so that I can get a review up, and I'll probably do a video review of this book if you guys want to see it, so let me know if you do and I will make sure I do one of those. Then the next book I want to read this month I'm going to try and get read before the 10th, because I think the 10th is its pub date, and it is A Kiss in the Dark by Kat Clark. Now my blogger friend Kirsty has already read this book and she said that she absolutely loved it, so I'm really looking forward to giving it a go. I've never read anything by Kat Clark before, so I'm interested to kind of find out what her style is like and what her narrative voices are like, because she's written 3 other books, so I'm really wanting to see whether they're worth reading as well, so really looking forward to that one, and I love the cover for this as well. I think it's just so kind of haunting and scary and a bit intriguing and full of enigma, so yeah, really looking forward to reading that one. And then the final book that I'm hoping to get read this month, which I really want to read and I've wanted to read since it arrived, is Trouble by Non Pratt. As you can tell, or as you probably know from the last time I hauled it, I absolutely love the cover of this book, and I really just cannot wait to read it. I love the spine as well. It's just so beautiful, so I'm really looking forward to reading this one. This is about teenage pregnancy, and I think it's kind of like a rom-com about what happens when a boy and a girl get pregnant, and they have to kind of navigate growing up and becoming parents. So I'm really looking forward to reading that one as well. Aside from that, I also want to try and get some of these books read. I don't know if you can see them here, but these are the ones that came from the lovely people at Amulet Books, and I really want to get potentially these two read. Sorry, I should have got these out already. High and Dry by Sarah Skilton and Other Bound by Corinne Duvis. I really want to get those two read as well, but they're going to be kind of potentially get read because that part I've just shown you is the one that I definitely want to get read this month. So yeah, hopefully I'll get around to reading these two as well. By the end of April, I really want to have 70 books read, which is going to be a challenge because that means I've got to read 20 this month. And I don't know if that's going to happen. I'm hoping it might, because some of them are quite short books as well, so I'm hoping that I might be able to read one or two of these short ones in one day, but I don't know. It's going to be a challenge, but one that I'm up for because I need to get on track with my target, because Goodreads is telling me I'm something like 12 books behind schedule at the moment, so I really need to start reading a lot quicker. But yeah, so that is my March wrap up and my April TBR. Let me know in the comments below what books you're planning on reading this month, what books you loved last month, whether there's any books I've shown you that you really want to see reviews for. And yes, happy reading, and I will see you again very soon. Bye!